So tough moral choices have always been a staple of the best writing. From Batman having to choose between love or justice in The Dark Knight, to Captain Jack Aubrey choosing between ship or sailor in Master and Commander, when option A and option B are equally difficult to stomach, it makes for thrilling stuff. And of course, video games too have had their fair selection of incredibly tough choices, where even when you think that there is an easy right option, as you start to weigh up what happens afterwards, it's clear that there is no clear winner overall. So let's take a look at them. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 supposedly obvious moral choices in video games you just couldn't make. Number 8. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords. Charity is bad, or is it? Now, when the Jedi exile arrives on the corrupt smuggler's moon of Nar Shaddaa in search of a lost Jedi Master, one of the first few residents they meet is a hapless beggar asking for credits. Now, the beggar is only asking for 5 credits. That is a piddling amount, so why not just help the man out? Well, being charitable, however, incurs the ire of your mentor, who points out that by giving the beggar what he has not earned, all you have managed to do is turn him into a target, and indeed, that man is swiftly mugged. Or is he? Because the incident happens out of sight, and you're never actually shown that he is mugged. Her argument is compelling to be sure, but is she just being candid, or just spinning a story designed to bring the exile around to her way of thinking? And by casting doubt on the truth of the incident, are developers Obsidian making her out to be a liar? Or are they just showing how easily receptive minds can be manipulated, including your own? KOTOR 2 is a game that takes seemingly simple questions like this and turns them upside down, and thought-provoking dilemmas like this are exactly why this game is pure brilliance. Number 7. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Spare your ally or bank on a safer future. Now, Skyrim pulls a rather surprising reveal on you. It's a dragon who leads an entire army of other dragons in a quest to destroy the world. As it turns out, your allies, the Greybeards, are also led by a dragon, Paarthurnax, who has been preparing for Alduin's return for centuries. The problem is, your other allies, the Blades, want Paarthurnax dead. Now, there's an evil dragon running amok, and Paarthurnax is not only willing to teach you the magic needed to beat him, but also to fight alongside you. Better yet, he's more than proven his hero chops as the leader of the dragons who banished Alduin long ago, and he's perfectly likable on top of all of this. So I ask you, why kill him? Well, his name translates basically to Ambition Overlord Cruelty. That's pretty ominous, right? Especially as he admits that all dragons thirst for dominance, himself included. There's also the inconvenient matter of the atrocities that he's committed against mankind, committed way before he turned on Alduin. He claims to have the strength of will to resist his nature, but how far can you actually trust him? He's betrayed one master already, so who's to say that he won't betray you as well? It's the classic dilemma of, can a leopard change its spots? And you're betting the entire fate of the world on the answer here. So yeah, have fun picking that. Number 6. Fallout New Vegas. Are the good factions really all that good? On their journey through New Vegas' post-apocalyptic wasteland, players can align themselves with one of 3 factions: the New California Republic, Mr. House, or Caesar's Legion, or indeed go solo and take the independent route. Now, the NCR is democratic, and the independent option offers self-governance, with Mr. House being a manipulative autocrat and the Legion a brutal military dictatorship that uses slave labor. The morally superior choice is clear, and most players seem to agree, right? Well, if you look a bit closer, it isn't actually that clear-cut. Yes, the NCR brings democracy, but doesn't give people a choice in joining. Independence means self-governance, sure, but you're the one left calling the shots, and power is a fiendishly corrupting little devil. As for the morally grey choice, House may be a sly capitalist, but he saved Vegas from nuclear apocalypse and created a society out of some barely civilized tribes. And as for the downright bad, while the Legion may be savage, they also keep the peace, so much so that New Vegas traders prefer to trade in their territory. That is mad, right? As a dilemma, it's a thoroughly realistic one, but that is exactly what makes New Vegas such a fascinating moral quagmire to navigate. Number 5. Dragon Age Origins. When you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Now, Origins is well known for its grim origin stories, but the City Elf origin is the darkest by far. When the son of a local Arl kidnaps a number of elven women to, well, do unspeakable things to them, the player character fights back, slaughtering his guards and confronting him face to face. But take 40 gold and he'll forget all about you. Kill him and severe retribution against your fellow elves will follow. With the slaughter as good as guaranteeing a purge of your people, and with a friend still in dire plight, making the evil pig pay pay for his crime is the only just conclusion to the whole sordid affair. But whatever you choose, your fellow elves are going to suffer. But then killing the sun is to personally wound the Arl, while killing a few guardsmen is not. The degree of difference may be small, but it is there. And it also makes you consider that taking the money might actually spare your people slightly less suffering. And this absolutely sucks as a moral choice, because you know that doing the right thing is to kill him, to stop what is going on with his disgusting plans. But you know that there is more pain on the horizon, whatever you choose. Number 4. Deus Ex Human Revolution, The Missing Link, The Innocents, or The Whistleblower. Now, in the DLC mission, The Missing Link, players uncover horrific experiments being conducted on kidnapped civilians aboard the remote Rifleman Bank station. When a scientist offers to turn whistleblower in exchange for escape, the station commander decides to gas scientist and civilians both. You can only save one. Now, a third option does exist, but is very tricky to find, and the clock is ticking. Having infiltrated a lab chock full of evidence and with tens of witnesses available to testify, it makes little sense to sacrifice the witness in favor of one lone voice, however authoritative. Now, in typical Deus Ex fashion, Human Revolution leaves things utterly murky. Fail to pay attention and you won't realize that the area you explore is not the full extent of Rifleman Bank. So even if you took out all of the guards, that leaves plenty more to kill the hapless civilians. Also, the plan is to set off a distress call with the whistleblower, but if they're dead, the game shows no sign of giving you the option otherwise. Now, players are later told that the area is isolated and that the civvies are safe, but just for the moment. But when placed on the spot, well, there's a lot to weigh in and few certainties to bank on. Number 3. Mass Effect 3. Do you dare cure the genophage? Now, the genophage is a nasty piece of work, a sterility plague targeted at the Krogan that results in the stillborn deaths of thousands of Krogan young. Understandably, this has left the Krogan more than a little angry. And considering the sheer scale of the suffering inflicted on the Krogan, the only right thing to do is to end it, right? Well, that's what the majority of players agreed upon, but if only things were that simple. The genophage, as explained by everyone's favourite opera-singing scientist Salarian Morden, was not actually designed to eradicate the Krogan, but to alter their naturally high birth rate to desired levels in order to keep the Krogan population in check. And why is this? Well, centuries earlier, the Krogan, a highly aggressive species of powerhouse fighters, threatened to annihilate every other race in the galaxy, in what became known as the Krogan Rebellions. A fact that players who are likely used to the loyal companion and Krogan leader Rex might be inclined to gloss over. But while Rex might be reasonable, a worrying number of other Krogan are not, and Rex won't live forever. If you choose the cure, another rebellion may be on the cards. But that's a maybe, and that's weighed up against the suffering of all of those people trying to keep their civilization alive. You're either a murderer, or you may see the planet itself being murdered. And speaking of Mass Effect 2, Save the Few or Risk the Many. Now, in the quest N7 Javelin missiles launched, a group of extremists capture an Alliance missile base on the moon of Franklin and launch 2 warheads at a nearby colony and a spaceport/industrial district. Lose the colony and the spaceport remains tactically viable. Lose the spaceport and the colonists live, but at the cost of having to relocate, and only one missile can be stopped. Now, surely the choice is obvious, right? Hundreds of innocent civilians versus some vague notion of tactical viability? Infrastructure can be replaced, but people cannot. And even if it costs them their homes, homeless are better than dead, right? Well, all is not what it seems, mainly due to, surprisingly for a game with such stellar writing, the quest doing a rather terrible job of explaining itself. You see, Franklin is a military site dedicated to the defense of the nearby populated planet of Watson. Watson is located in the extremist-infested Terminus system, and the spaceport/industrial district is critical to its security. Thus, the actual choice is between saving hundreds and weakening Watson's defense, thereby potentially placing thousands more at risk, or sacrificing hundreds to keep thousands alive, potentially. And it's that potential that will keep you up at night. And number 1, The Last of Us. Did Joel do the right thing? Now, though players do not make this choice, The Last of Us creates such an intimate relationship between players and Joel that the game begs players to ask it, and so it is a must include on this list. You see, with a deadly plague ravaging the United States, protagonist Joel is tasked with smuggling a teenage girl, Ellie, who is immune, to a group known as the Fireflies, where they plan to use her immunity to create a cure. However, little does Joel know that said cure will come at the cost of Ellie's life. Now, nothing is certain, and neither is the creation of a vaccine, so Joel ruthlessly guns his way through the Fireflies to save Ellie, and many fans agree that his decision was absolutely the just one. But the choice is only obvious while the efficiency of the cure remains in doubt. But if not, well, the game never states that the Fireflies scientists are rolling the dice, and while their leader uses the word chance, she is not an expert. Civilization will likely recover, but the cure expedites the end of the plague and saves thousands doing so. So is one life truly so dear a price to pay? It is a tough question with no easy answer, and one guaranteed to be debated for some decades to come. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 supposedly obvious moral choices in video games that you just couldn't make. What did you think about that video? Let me know down in the comments section below. And if you think that some of these choices have clear, obvious answers, then please let me know. I love to read all of your thoughts. But if you want to chat to me further, you can do so over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice, where I do all of my streaming outside of work, and it'd be great to see you over there. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. While we detailed a lot of morally grey questions today, there is one thing that I know is for certain, and that is that you, yes, you listening to this video, should be kind to yourself, both mentally and physically, because you deserve love, happiness, and respect. We all do as human beings, and all I want for you is to go and live a healthy and happy life. So treat yourself with that love and respect, because you bloody well deserve it, alright? And remember, you are a massive ledge. As always, I've been Jules, you have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.